Hey everybody, welcome to episode 35. Today's episode, I'm going to kind of do something a little different, at least try something a little different. Uh, I'm going to go over one of my favorite movies of all time, Tron. I've got the Blu-ray here. I'm not actually going to show the Blu-ray because I got a Blu-ray. I have a DVD player, not a Blu-ray player, on my PC here, but I'm going to show you a couple of snippets of the movie. Not much. I don't want to get flagged for, for copyright infringement. So I'll show a couple of clips that pertain to stuff that I want to talk about. But I'm going to show you my little Tron collection here. I mean, it's not a lot, but there's certain things that came out when Tron came out that I had. Some things I didn't have. Obviously, I didn't have this. I didn't even have a VHS copy of it, in 1982. But when this movie came out, I was flabbergasted. I mean, like I said, it totally hit every nerve, every button that I had. I was floored. It came out in 1982. I was 9 years old. I saw it at the, I want to say I saw it at the Winchester Mall Theater when it had two theaters there. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. I don't think I saw it at the Hampton. I think I saw it at Winchester Mall. And I know the Hills, I believe, was gone by 82, downtown Rochester. I'm pretty sure that's where I saw it. I know I saw Raiders of the Lost Ark right around that time at Winchester Mall, so maybe I'm getting it, confused with that one. But and also Conan the Barbarian was out right around that time as well. But I saw Conan at a drive-in, and so, anyways, when it came out, I can't remember who I saw it with. I think I saw it with I don't think I saw it with my sister. I think I saw it with my dad. It could have been my sister. I don't think I had any friends with me. But, no, I saw it. I mean, it blew me away. I was just like, this is one of my favorite, up until Jedi had come out, this was probably my favorite movie. I'm trying to think, like I said, I remember I wasn't huge on Empire for various reasons, but when Tron came out, I was just like, oh my gosh, this is just, it's like the second it was like the second Star Wars to me, I think today it holds up pretty well. I mean, there's some rough edges looking back on it now. Stuff I didn't notice as a kid, and then seeing it, in a better format. Obviously, I didn't. You couldn't see a lot of the imperfections and stuff. And I've watched multiple. I mean, there's a featurette on this. Like I watched the featurette when I had the original DVD when DVDs first came out, and I had the original for that too. And I watched the featurette. I think it's a different featurette than it's on this. Kind of does the making of Tron, and they go into like the technology used, the computer that was built to do the the CG stuff. Like I said, visually, it really stands out. I mean, it was so cutting edge and so above its time. I mean, there's nothing like that had been done before, and that's obviously most of the charm and why it's become a cult classic today. Because the movie itself, it's got issues, it's got flaws, but I personally just overlook the flaws and I just enjoy it for what it is. But I did want to say one thing I remembered was for some reason, and I don't know why, but in the Detroit area, every Thanksgiving for the longest time, this is way before the internet, I think we had cable at the time, sure, but I would say probably throughout the 80s, for some reason, if you didn't want to watch the Lions game on Thanksgiving, just turn it over to Channel 20, and they were playing Tron, always while the Lions game was on Thanksgiving. I don't know why. Maybe they just figured people who weren't into sports were probably into Tron, and they'd rather watch Tron than the football game. But I didn't really watch a lot of the football games at that time. I watched Tron every single time. I didn't really start watching the Thanksgiving football games until maybe like the 90s. Maybe the early 90s, maybe the late 80s. I'm not sure. I wasn't super into football at the time. I was really into the 1984 Chicago Bears, as everybody was with the Super Bowl Shuffle and Fridge Perry and Ed McMahon, Jim McMahon. I was really into it at that point. The NFL. I tried Topps trading cards. I loved the Topps trading cards. My dad was huge into sports and huge into sports cards, so of course, the Topps cards were something pretty cool. And speaking of Topps cards, I mean, I don't have any. There's the antique store downtown Bay City here has like a whole bunch of unopened factory sealed boxes of non-sport trading cards, and they have like Battlestar Galactica. They have about 8 boxes of unopened Battlestar Galactica. They've got I don't know if they have the Jaws ones. They have some Star Wars, not a lot. They don't have any Jedi ones. They have a few individual packs of Jedi. They have a lot of RoboCop. They've got a bunch of other ones. I think they have Raiders of the Lost Ark. They want like $10 a pack. There's probably 40 packs in there, so I don't want to spend $400 for a box of those, So, let me pause the. Sorry, I turned the sound down, but I've got the DVD playing in the background here. Because I'm going to switch it over and show you some scenes. I can go to the scene selection, I guess, and hunt the scenes up I'm looking for. But yeah. So where was I? Sports cards. Yeah. So I don't have any. I want them. I mean, there's a site online that has all of them. You can download each individual card and look at them. But I mean, I'd rather have the, smell those cards, smell that bubble gum, that old, 41-year-old bubble gum that's on it. But I had the Tron trading cards. They used to be at the Troy Stamp and Coin for the longest time for like 50 cents, cover, or a cover, whatever, 50 cents a piece or whatever. And I should have bought them then, but that was back in the 90s. And I think I've seen at a couple of comic cons. I think I've seen the complete sets in little set boxes. But I might get the Tron cards sometime in the future. I mean, I love the card. I love cards. I love those Topps trading cards for the movies, and the stickers and all that stuff that went with it. But this is the Blu-ray. It's got the Blu-ray. I've got the DVD copy in the DVD case. But I want to go through a couple of things that I do have. First off, let me mention it because I don't have it. At least I can't find it. I have the soundtrack, on CD, and I have no idea where it is. I've purged most of my CDs, and I kept a few. I kept probably about 15, 20 CDs, and one of them was the Tron soundtrack, just because I thought I could never get that again. So I can't find it. I can't find it anywhere. My son wants those CDs. And I don't mind giving them to him, but I just can't find them. So I don't have the CD, the soundtrack at the moment here. I'd like to find it on LP. I'll probably look for it on vinyl. So before I go on, actually let me take that back. I finally did get, and again, this isn't what the video is about, but I finally did get my Audio-Technica turntable. This is the LP60X, which I guess is supposed to be one of the best beginner turntables. I mean, I've had turntables for, since the 80s, but I mean, I haven't got into it in a long time. So as far as new technology, I wanted to get something decent because, I was worried about a lot of records not playing, so I wanted the stainless steel platter specifically. So I got that, and I got a Yamaha receiver. I was waiting for the longest time, and then they had that Prime Day sale on Amazon, so I went ahead and pulled the trigger. I got 48% off that and 48% off the receiver. So, and the receiver I have is the, it's over there down there. You can see it down there. It's the Yamaha RS202. Again, an entry-level receiver. My guitar is, my classical over there is Yamaha. I really like Yamaha products, and this was supposed to be for the money. It was probably, it was this or the Sony 190, I think is the Sony, and they said that the Sony's more for an aggressive sound. They said that the Yamaha's more of an easier listening, warmer sound with a really nice headphone response. And so that's what I wanted, because I'm primarily going to use headphones to listen to this stuff, because I live in an apartment and you can't crank the stereo. I need to pick up some speakers though, just so I can have reference speakers. But I don't have it. So I got it. I'm kind of geeked. I got everything hooked up today, and we're already gone through Asia, the first Asia album, to make sure that album was perfect, and not a flaw. The sound is immaculate. I mean, it's like hearing music again for the first time. I mean, it's that insane. So I've got Asia Alpha. I've already gone through side A. I'm going to go through side B and check that one out, make sure it's that one's fine. Like I said, I'm going to go through all my discs. I don't have a lot of them. I'm going to go through all my vinyl there and make sure that they're all good. So that's what kind of spawned this video today. Is I was thinking of Tron. I've got some Journey albums down there, and I was thinking about Tron, and so I said, oh, I'll do a Tron video. How about that? So again, I'd like to get the Tron soundtrack on LP if I could find it. There's a lot of Transformers movie soundtrack, Heavy Metal movie soundtrack, a lot of soundtracks I'd love to have on LP. So I'm going to look for those. But some of my other collection stuff, one thing I've always loved these, and I love novelizations. Most of the time they're by Alan Dean Foster. This one in particular is not. It's by Brian Daley, based on a screenplay by Stephen Lisberger, story by Lisberger, and Bonnie McBird, who wrote the original screenplay for the movie. But this was these are the novelizations. I got this one. I found this one. Lumpy Cuts. Huh? That's a weird bookmark I used. But I found this one. I guess I must have been reading it at chapter 4 again. So maybe I'll leave the bookmark in there. But I found this one we used to have a used bookstore in Bay City in town here. They finally went out of business, and they're only open on like leap year. Every time Saturn eclipsed Mars, you could never find them open, and eventually ended up going. But I went down there and I bought a paper grocery bag filled with used books down there that I found a lot of stuff that I liked, and this was one of them. It was in great condition too, and it was like $1. I didn't write the price in there. I think it was like $1. Could have been $1.50, but the reason I love these is believe it or not, I loved getting these before I went and saw the movie. I didn't do it with this one, but I have done it with like the Ninja Turtles, Batman '89, Star Trek V, Last Crusade. I would go to Fireside Books and I would find the novelization before I went and saw the movie, because usually they came out about 2 weeks before the movie aired, the opening night of the movie, and I would read the novel. I remember again, I couldn't read very well, so I had to read quick. But I would read I had to read as quick as I could to get through it. And, it took me all of 2 weeks to read a book that's only, they're all about the same with 175 pages. Literally took me 2 weeks to read them. That's how slow I read. But I would read through the book, and then I wanted to know what the whole movie was about. I wanted all the spoilers. I wanted to know everything about the movie, because I was curious to see how much the movie is like the book. And it was harder for me to watch the movie than go back and read the book, because all of the scenes in the movie would be in my head as I read the book. But I liked going in fresh before I saw the scenes, and then reading and then seeing it. So I've got a few of these. I need to get more. But I got the Tron one here. And the cool thing also is, like I said, I didn't do it with this one. But if that was the situation, a lot of times I had these color inserts inside. Again, this is before the internet, and this is before a lot of things. So in order to see scenes from the movie, you had to get Starlog magazine, or they had to find a magazine article. Lucky enough to find a magazine article with the movie in it. You could go down to I went down to the Rochester Public Library, and you could go to their periodical section. And I remember the periodical lady that I used to bug for the copies, to get the copies of the monster manuals and the Fiend Folio. But I would go to periodical lady, and I would ask her, and of course she'd give me the periodical reference guides, and she said, you have to look it up yourself. She kind of wanted me to learn how to use that, so I would learn how to look up periodicals, and I would see if there's any articles that they had of things I was interested in. One of them, of course, obviously was movies back then. I spent forever trying to find pictures of the SR-71 Blackbird when I first learned about the SR-71 Blackbird. There was a Time magazine with a cover of the SR, the classic image of the Blackbird on it, and I was just obsessed with that plane in the 80s. And I was trying to find every article I could on that plane. But yeah, some of the movies I can't remember off the top of the head. I know there was a bunch of them. I think I might even look for Return of the Jedi articles, outside of the Time magazine one. Like I said, unless you're at the bookstore and you caught that issue of, oh Jesus, it's coming apart. Caught that issue of, they're coming apart, all right. That episode of, that issue of Starlog magazine, you wouldn't, that was the only way to get stills and stuff, and just seeing the color photographs of it. I love it. I mean, it's almost like the trading cards kind of did the same effect. I'm gonna stop messing with it because I'm gonna end up knocking all these pages out of here. I usually just take some clear tape and I run a bead of tape along there and then fold it and run a bead of tape on the other side and fix it. So I had to fix a lot of my books. Like my Dragonlance, Dragons of Autumn Twilight, the front cover popped off, so I had to fix that, but I'll repair that. And then, of course, the other thing, and I remember getting this, and then, again, this is not my original, but I remember getting this from, it says 1982, so I was in Mrs. Kilway's 4th grade class at Woodward, so right across the hall we went to the Media Center, and they had the Scholastic Book Fair, and this was one of them. The Scholastic books would always do the softcover versions. I had the softcover Dune. I've got the hardcover now, but like Dune, I had the softcover of, books like that. Ghostbusters, which I have the Ghostbusters softcover Ghostbusters. But the Scholastic books would always do the softcover. Maybe it's just because they cheaper, $6.95. I'm gonna say copyright either 80. It's probably copyright 83. So I think no, it is 82. Okay, so it must have. And these are brand new and they came out. So this must have come out right before. Well, it was the first semester of before the winter break of 4th grade. But remember, this came out right before Jedi too. So I love storybooks. I love storybooks. I collect as many of them as I can get. Thrift Books has some more. I need to get the Willow one. I need the Flash Gordon one. I got like Last Star. I've got about 8 of them, 9, maybe 10 of them over there. All the Star Wars ones. Raiders of the Lost Ark, Last Starfighter, E.T. But I love these because, again, you get these full-color photographs and you also get the story. And like I said, I would also read this, too. Obviously probably not before the movie, but I would read this after the fact, and you would get, it's almost like the book on tape, or the book on record, like I got the Jedi book on record. I would like to find the book on record for this. I'm assuming one exists. I never had it, but I might go hunting that down, that and the soundtrack. Yeah, this, I love the storybooks. Love them a lot. It's a really sharp looking cover on that one too. I mean, it would have been nice to maybe have the original cover on it from the poster, but these are fine too. A lot of times they didn't put the original cover, the movie poster on these books. But yeah, so there's the, again, I tempt fate opening these all the time, that everything's just gonna just fall apart. But there's that. The only other thing I've got, I never had, actually I take that back, I did have Zark. I had the Zark action figure. I never had any of the Light Cycle action figures. I know they re-released them just recently. I'll look into them. I don't know. They're probably astronomically priced because they're probably by, Ramen Toys or some other boutique item. This is a spot. Pausing it. Boutique toy company. So they're probably astronomically priced. But and they also came out with like NECA came out with some. Real nice looking action figures. They're cool and all, but I want the stuff from the past. I don't want the newer stuff. when it comes to that stuff, you know. And the action figures, I mean, they looked cool, but they were really kind of, super cheesy. I mean, they're really no real articulation. I mean, the light cycle had the zip cord technology in it. But like I said, I had Zark. I think it was the only figure I had. I may have had, and I'm assuming they maybe had the guard with the stick, because I thought he was really cool. But yeah, I really liked. I mean, it's like still one of my favorite movies, and I do have, and I saw this in the theater when it came out. I do have the Legacy. Is it Legacy? Yeah, Legacy. I know there's also a TV show called Uprising, and I enjoyed this when it came out. I thought it was great. There's a couple of things I was actually kind of like, oh, that's pretty cool. I'm not going to talk about this movie specifically, but I mean, there's a couple of scenes that I thought were really cool. I liked when he goes in the arcade and they're playing Separate Ways by Journey. It's like, oh, there we go. I mean, that's kind of what I'm going to talk to with my scene in the movie. It's just kind of those, it's just one of those things. You go into an arcade in the 80s and they're playing Journey, you know, that dimly lit arcade, flashing lights everywhere. It's just like, that's heaven to me. But anyways, I have it. I enjoyed it. And I also had Uprising. I think I watched it all on Apple, because I had an Apple. I was married at the time, and I had the Apple. I had iTunes or whatever. I think I bought them all on iTunes and watched all the Uprising. I enjoyed those. You know, they're great too. I thought the stylization was really cool. I really liked those. I mean, that one girl, Olivia Wilde, is that her name? Her character shows up in it. And then I liked Paige that was in it, the bad girl Paige. I thought she was really nice, very appealing. But now I haven't seen those in a while either. I mean, those are what, over 10 years old now. So yeah, I said I did like the new movie. You know, it'd be nice if they would have made a few more, especially with that new storyline where, you know, they could bring the programs into the RL, to the real world. I thought that was pretty cool. And then they had that, you know, the Uprising cartoon kind of you know, touched on that as well. So that's all my accoutrement of Tron. So let's flip over. I kind of stopped it at the scene here. Let's go back just because I want to get the opening shot. Let me. Beautiful. Sorry, I should have had this. I had it set up, but it flaked out on me. So I'm gonna. I mean, I guess I could just go to the scene selection, but it's almost right here. Blah, 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 blah. And, come on. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, there it goes. Okay. Oh, shh. I'm just going to go back just a hair. Just a hair. Alright, so I'm going to flip it over here. We'll catch the end of this scene here. Let me turn it up just a hair. Why is it not playing? On standby for tech. Oh, Jesus. There we go. She wants to go to Flynn's place.
That Dillinger's onto him.
I don't see why I have to do that guy any favors. I don't know what you ever saw in that guy.
There it is.
I love him for his
Okay.
brain.
So right off the bat, okay, Flynn's Arcade. That's so cool. I love the building. I love all of that. I love that there's an arcade, and I love that there's especially an apartment over top. I mean, it was, you know, that was like my dream place to live. I mean, you could take your, you know, $500,000, your $1 million mansions, you know, you could take your rich Rochester, you know, Christian Hills subdivision sets and shove them up your keister. If I had buco bucks, I would buy that. I'm not that specifically, but I would buy an arcade with an apartment over top of it, you know, in some city. Doesn't have to be a big city. Could be even Bay City, you know, something like that. There's an arcade down there. I told you all about that. But anyways, but yeah, to me that's like my dream place. There's a couple of dream places. There's the arcade, apartment over the arcade, and then there's the kind of what he had in the second movie, where he lived in like the warehouse district, and they had that storage garage or storage building, and he had like his computer and his couches and the stereo and his TV and everything all set up in like the storage garage, and then you could pull your motorcycle or your Lamborghini Countach and pull it right on in. Yeah, to me that if I was filthy rich, that's the type of weird stuff that I would be doing. But here's the scene here.
Oh, don't think you're changing the meter. We're gonna need it for the game.
I can hear the Journey playing. It's
Boy, I haven't been here in a long time.
here it is. Can't think of the title off the top of my head. Absolute Solution. Absolute Solution. Look at that. Arcade. The flashing lights, the low dim lights.
Where is he?
I mean, you don't really need to hear it perfectly. Nice blonde there with some nice jeans.
Excuse me, champ.
Look at that kid. Look at that kid.
Over there on his machine.
Look at that little jackass. There he is.
Really on a roll. Puerto Rico to go to Thailand, and then Puerto Rico to get the world's
Jeff Bridges works. Good stuff. Wait, where's this guy? Where's this guy?
How'd you do it? 599,000 points.
I love when they get 599,000 points. It just sounds like such an 80s guy that said that. Yeah, I mean, this guy, this is one of my idols back in the day. I wanted to be this guy. I wanted my Sony Walkman, just brand new. And those things were brand new at the time. Get your Sony Walkman. You own the arcade. Got all these cute young girls working for you. Your apartment's upstairs. Got the Journey going. Granted, it's not. I mean, Absolute Solution was written for the movie because it's on the soundtrack. I guess they couldn't license any of the pre-existing Journey music at the time because I think Escape had just come out. Obviously, it did. I mean, if you take the Tron poster and Escape and you do this, it just becomes one. But anyways, yeah, the what do you call it? Man, he is pitting worse than I'm pitting. But anyways, yeah, they had to use the other song for this. Let me just go a little bit more here real quicker. Actually, it comes right after this scene.
Hey, good to see you guys. Looking fast up the joint like a clean-cut dead temple.
Now, of course, this scene I'm showing you is not the main part of the movie. This is the RL, the real-life part. Look at that, it's got some young college girl working for him. Lucky guy. I love that. Oh, I mean, I probably wouldn't put heads on my walls. I'd be different, but
The best programmer Incom ever saw, and he winds up playing Space Cowboy in some back room.
Okay, let me handle this.
Go right ahead.
Have you been sneaking into the Encom system?
so look at that. And he's got that whole window. You can just look out and see the arcade all the time. That's pretty sweet. Yeah. So my dream domicile, because it's not really a house per se, would be that. And you know what? And it's just like if I was rich and money was no object, it'd probably you'd pack it in, but free games for everybody. Have just host certain nights. Like Friday nights, I'm going to open up the arcade for 4 hours, and it's free games for everybody. Everybody come in, and have a good old time, and then boot them all out. and then do it again the next night. Do it on the weekends, Friday and Saturday night. Tim's Arcade, free games for everybody. Be nice. All right, I gotta stop daydreaming here. So yeah, so again, I'm not gonna really play much of the movie, but primarily the movie itself. Let's see. Well, let me go back to the main menu. I usually use VLC player. Just it's a lot easier to use. Of course, I say that now, and I is it the title? DVD menu. There you go. I always forget how to use some sometimes. There's also I use a lot. Take a lot of screen caps from VLC. It's a very nice program. Works really good. Program. There we go. I'm using the vernacular of Tron, the titular, the nomenclature. Sorry. Yeah. So, like I said, this movie was huge for me. Really, really. I mean, it all hit right, bam, right in that short pocket of time. I was young. Everything was firing on all cylinders. You had arcades. You had the movies were awesome. You had comic books. You had action figures. You were young. You had no real responsibility except for make it through a school year. That's pretty much it. Can I survive the school year? And live to talk about it. And summers were just candy. I mean, obviously everybody knows this. Everybody knows summers are candy to a kid. I mean, it was just the whole summer long. You were just in duck soup, as somebody I once know said, yeah, you were in duck soup. So anyways, I was in duck soup, all right. And I'm sure most people were in duck soup. And if you grew up in this time period and it's the summer, you're definitely in some duck soup. Yeah. Again, this will probably be a shorter video. This is a Friday's video, I think. It's on a 5, so that's usually 35, so that's usually a Friday video. Again, this isn't being recorded on a Friday. Actually, technically it is being recorded on a Friday. It's not the Friday that's going to post on. This is actually the Friday right before I leave for my vacation. So, I'm not going to tell you that I'm going on vacation and that I'm going to be gone for a week, because you already should know that from watching my videos. If you're watching my videos, every one of them, you'll know that I'll be gone for a week and I'm not going to post. So hopefully nobody freaked out. I'm talking about this in the past, but I'm talking about it in the future, which is weird. Maybe that's going to suck me into the program. Anyways, but yeah, so hopefully people didn't bolt and people didn't forget about me because I didn't post for an entire week. But yeah, hopefully that went all okay. I'm also hoping the vacation went well. So when I come back really from the vacation to record a video, I'm going to tell you a little bit about how that went. But other than that, again, I just wanted to reiterate from last video that I'm really toning down, pulling back on the action figures and the toys. Like I said, I'm gonna postpone my superpowers collecting for now until I kind of figure out if I want to continue with that. I probably will get the Black Mana regardless, just because I want that figure. And who else? Aquaman I might pick up because he is part of that set. I probably, I like the newer Wonder Woman that's coming out than the one that's already out. And I also like the other Batman. So, I mean, technically, and then the Robin, technically I probably will buy all 4 of these figures. But if the next wave is going to be all repaints, depending on what, I know the one repaint would be that Flash. I can't remember what his name is, the other Flash, the yellow Flash. Probably won't get that one. Maybe, I don't know. Again, I no more repaints. Give me new stuff. There's characters I want to see. On the multiverse front, I don't see really anything at the moment. There's the 89 Keaton Batmobile. I don't know. They say that they might come out with those again. It's probably going to sell out just again lightning fast. I'm not going to get it, blah, blah, blah. So I'm not going to sweat the Keaton Batmobile. Like I said, I got waiting for Snake Mountain. Yeah, I think that's it for the toys. Excuse me, for the most part. Like I said, I'm going to go focus on finding some other little pieces for my collection. books, things like that. I need to go and look up, and again, it reminds me, that's what I'm going to do after this video. I'm going to go and I'm going to look up, what do you call it, go hunt down the, some soundtracks, so specifically the Tron soundtrack, hunt it down on LP, see if I can find it on vinyl. It's probably astronomically priced, but I don't know, might get lucky. I am, hopefully, again, I was supposed to go on some, there's some record stores, a record store downtown Grand Rapids that I supposedly will go to. I mean, hopefully I went to it. It's weird talking about this in the future, but it's in the past. But yeah, hopefully I went to it, and hopefully I found some good stuff there. Brought home some good pieces for the vinyl collection, because like I said, my vinyl collection is pretty sparse at the moment. Got three of the best Journey, my favorite Journey albums. I've got some Asia. I still need Asia Astra. Only got one Blue Oyster Cult album. I need some more Blue Oyster Cults. I have no rush. I think the first one I'm going to buy is Fly By Night. I would probably go for Moving Pictures first, but I think I'm going to start from the beginning. I know there's the first Rush album, but I'd rather start with the first Neil Peart Rush album with Fly By Night. Because that's on Amazon. I can get a reissue of that, unless I find one. But like I said, it seems like everybody wants top dollar for their Rush, vintage Rush, so I might as well just buy the reissues. Other than that, I said there's the system. I guess you can kind of see it. I know my desk's in the way, but let me pop this back out away from the video. So yeah, so there's the I modified a nightstand for a turntable desk or stand or whatever for now. That's probably not going to stay that way. I'm probably going to buy a dedicated one where I can get the receiver up higher, and then put the records underneath it, and then have the turntable on top. It's just my little listening station here. I'll probably move that Transformers poster and put some cool music posters around it. Maybe a Journey poster or something. They had a real cool Tales of Topographic Ocean horizontal poster, 24 by 36. I was looking at that online. Maybe even a Transformers the movie soundtrack poster would be cool. But something for my listening station. Obviously, I listen to it in this chair, or I can lay in my bed when I'm, at night. I can listen to it with my headphones. I'm going to get some small bookshelf speakers. One for down there. That's why I want to move the records over. One for down there, and one for the other side, so I can listen to some music in my room at moderate volume. I can't crank it, so I don't need crazy. I don't need a subwoofer. I mean, the subwoofer on my computer is way too loud for my apartment, so I try to keep the sound on that down as well. But I do want to be able to, I don't want to just exclusively use headphones. I like some speakers, so probably, maybe I've picked them up by now, so they'll show up on a future video. But the other thing I was also thinking was maybe a preamp, and I was also looking at maybe a tube preamp. I don't know if it's just a waste of money or something. It might be an option. It's a preamp. Maybe even a graphic equalizer, do a little more equalization. This is all stuff that's been around forever. These type of people who have owned stereos for years know all this stuff. But I haven't had a dedicated stereo in so long that now I'm just kind of getting back into this stuff. It's I've gotten CDs. I got rid of all my CDs for the most part, except for the few that I can't find. I've gotten rid of tapes. I've gotten rid of my old record collection went a long time ago, probably in the early 90s, mid 90s. I got rid of my original album collection, which I had been collecting for years, mostly throughout the late 80s. Because I had a few records, I had like Kiss Alive 2, I had Rock and Roll Over, I had the Ace Frehley solo album, but most of the records were my parents, or the ones that my dad stole from my Uncle Bob, like Black Sabbath, Heaven and Hell, and The Court of the Crimson King, stuff I knew my dad did. My dad was more Moody Blues and Bob Seger, so I know he had took those albums from my uncle, his younger brother, Bob, who's also gone. I'm pretty happy that, like I said, I listened to the first full album. I was just blown away by the sound. My headphones are okay. I've got AKGs, They're more like a studio monitor headset for like recording music. That's what I kind of got them for. But I think I'm going to invest in some open ear. Audio-Technica makes an open ear that aren't super expensive. I know people go for Grados, but Grados are really pricey. So I might just get some Audio-Technica open ears. Like I said, I've got an entry-level turntable and an entry-level receiver. I mean, those are entry-level. Well, there's a little better than entry-level, but they're for recording. They're closed ear. So I'm going to try to find some open ear headphones and give that. I've never had those before. I'm going to give that a shot. So there's a few little things here and there that I'll do for it, but again, this isn't really this is a Tron video, even though I've gone. I could probably stop here in a couple minutes, but this is supposed to be a Tron video. Remember, we're talking about Tron, but we're also talking about music and stuff like that. So, but yeah, I said I'm gonna once I get in, this gets more of a underway and becomes more of a thing for me, and I thought it might even eclipse the action figure thing for a while. I think I might start doing some stuff, talking about some of my favorite albums that I acquire, you know, like Journey Escape, like the first Asia album, Freeze Frame by Jay Giles, you know, you name it, Rush albums, Yes albums, soundtracks, you know, that type of thing. Like I said, this channel isn't necessarily toys. It's not necessarily comics. It's not necessarily, you know, that stuff. It's just kind of everything in my circle of being, and just kind of doing that. So I could share it all with you, you know, and you guys can watch it and listen to it. And if you get something out of it, that's great. If I teach you something you never learned before, or talk about something you never heard of, that's great. You know, or if I just give you the memberries, as the kids say nowadays, that's great too. So, all right, I'm going to end this video. I'm going to pick up, which will be 37, which will be a Monday episode. Don't know what's going to happen then that Monday that I record it. So I'm not going to record a video tomorrow because I got to get ready for the trip. The trip that I already went on. But the next video will probably be after when I get back, so I'll figure out. Maybe I've got some albums I might want to show with you, or something else I found, or you know, and I'll tell you about the experience now that it's a week after the fact. I said no. I've got all the whole next week's videos to record. I've got them recorded. I just can't. They're not going to fit on any of the stuff I'm bringing. I'm only bringing my tablet right there, as you see, and my phone. So I can't fit it all on there. I mean, I could, but it would take up a ton of space, and it's just too fiddly to try to upload from there. I know my son does it all the time. He thinks I'm crazy, but it'll give me a break away from it too, so I don't have to think about it. I just hope I don't lose, and not that I have a huge following as it is now, but hopefully I don't lose people. Maybe it'll be like a fresh new start. Oh, he's doing videos? Yeah, I've already done 30-some, but it's neither here nor there. So I will catch you guys later, and hopefully I'll have a good story that I'm coming back with that you're going to learn about a week after, 2 weeks after the fact, or week after the fact. All right. Anyways, enough of me being weird. All right. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.